which truck engine is better?
Raptor.
No!
Oh.
No, it's not always Raptor, Nathan. I was gonna say, which truck engine is better for towing? Is it the small displacement Ford Ranger engine, or is it the large displacement V8?
Well, I mean, logically, you would think it would be the small one, right?
Yeah.
But the little guy's got to work harder. The big one doesn't have to work as hard.
So how about this? We have a 7,500-pound trailer behind us, and let's run an MPG loop both with the Ranger and then the Raptor R and figure out who's better, more efficient at towing.
Sounds good.
All right, dude, so to keep this as precise as possible, we gotta top off.
So you're not talking about tequila, you're talking about gas.
No, gas.
Okay.
Because TFL runs on Sinclair.
Ah.
Yeah. That's right, of course, TFL runs on Sinclair fuels. Specifically right now, we'll be using 91 premium octane. That's our premium fuel here in Colorado. Because with 91 octane, we have a little bit more power and a little bit more towing capability.
All right, so
Oh,
that's really, really expensive.
yeah, $469.
Hey, but we save some money here, don't we?
Yes, if you use DinoPay app, here's an example of it right up here. You could find stations near you, you can find the best pricing, and also save money using DinoPay.
Far out.
This is a high quality juice, dude, because they have DinoCare additives to help your engine stay cleaner.
Oh, that's great stuff. How much gas does this vehicle hold?
Well, this is about like a 18-gallon tank approximately.
Okay.
So not a terrible amount of fuel. Actually, this is half the capacity of the fuel of the Raptor. That's 36.
There's a lot of halves.
That's at 30.
This has half the torque, basically.
Half the fuel capacity. Twice the efficiency. Unladen.
Unladen. Yeah.
All right, dude. 30 seconds.
All right.
Do you have your chronograph?
Yeah, I'm running it right now. Old school, because I don't believe in
yes.
newfangled watches you guys have that you have to plug in every 9 minutes.
Topping off. And we do this to keep it even. Aha. All right, let's get on the road, on the highway. All right, my friends, so we're jumped off directly onto our highway efficiency loop that we've been using for our Let's Find Out series.
That is correct. So it's a relatively simple loop. What we do is we go onto one highway, which I believe has a 65 mile per hour speed limit.
Yep.
And then we actually go onto another highway that at its peak has a 75 mile per hour speed limit. We basically keep it at the speed limits.
Yeah.
We don't go over, that's for sure, because we really don't want to completely blow our load, so to speak.
Yes.
And we try to do them back to back, so that way we have a similar environmental conditions. So right now it's a very light breeze, and it's
it's about 40 degrees.
Oh, 40 degrees outside.
Nice. Late winter, early spring day?
Yeah, actually, it's quite nice. Yeah. All the conditions are quite good, and we do it this time of day because usually it's fairly light traffic. So barring any issues, knock on plastic, we should be able to do both of these runs about an hour.
Yeah, no traffic, hopefully.
A couple questions when it comes to the Ranger. First of all, what are we looking at under the hood?
Well, this is the current generation Ford Ranger. It's a crew cab.
Yeah.
And under the hood is a 2.3 liter straight 4 turbo engine.
Right, what's its output?
270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. So it's quite torquey, quite good engine.
Yeah, not disagreeing.
Okay.
How much does this truck weigh?
The way it sits here with a 4x4 FX4 package, 4,600 pounds, which is okay for a mid-sized truck.
Okay. And what's its MPG combined? Do you remember offhand?
Well, it's like 21, 22.
Right. So it's sort of a question of the power to weight of this vehicle and its towing versus what's going to be happening with the big guy.
Yeah, the Raptor R.
Right.
And let's talk about the trailer because we're maxing this truck out.
Okay.
Today we're towing a 20-foot long Big Tex tilt trailer with a Buhanka, my Soviet 4x4 van on top of it, and the total weight of this trailer with the ballast is 7,500 pounds which is the maximum rating of this Ford Ranger. But the Ford Ranger is a little truck that could. As always, we use Gen Y heavy-duty hitches. They're really strong, steel, and height adjustable. And I want to point out one more thing. Here I have the wire from the trailer going to my remote brake controller, and then the wire from the remote brake controller going to the truck. And that's because the Ranger does not offer a built-in, at least this one, doesn't offer a built-in integrated trailer brake controller, which is not good when you're towing heavy loads. It's kind of settled down, so we climbed that initial hill out of Boulder. It actually dropped to about 60 miles an hour. It was slightly, the cruise control system was having a little bit of an issue maintaining that 65.
Yeah, that's something worth mentioning. We do use cruise control on this as often as possible, as opposed to what we do when we do the Ike Gauntlet. The Ike Gauntlet's completely different in terms of cruise control.
It's an extreme test.
Right, it's an extreme test, and in many occasions, I would imagine that cruise control would just not work going
just
up
kind
a
of
hill
pop out,
or pop out, and then that would screw up our test doing the Ike. This is very different because it's mostly flat terrain or flat-ish. It's not going to be as effective.
All right. So now, well, let's put a few miles behind our belt.
Yes.
What do you say?
Yeah.
All right, dude. So I initially set the cruise control at 70 miles an hour.
Yep.
Once we got on this higher speed tollway, but we started having some trailer sway.
Yes, we did, especially at 70 miles per hour.
Yeah. So I went down to 65. So right now we're rolling at 65. But when people pass me, sometimes it induces sway because they do have some kind of aero wash next to them.
Yep.
And it doesn't feel too great. So what I think is happening is I did not put enough tongue weight on the Ranger.
And that may
what
have
I think is happening.
So the Bahanka has a lot of tires on the back of it, on the roof, and that, considering how far back it is, that may be contributing to what our issue is. To move the whole Bahanka forward, loosen these straps up, and then we're going to tighten them now, and that's what Andre's doing right now. Our problem is up there. Actually, it's easier to see from the other side, and that is the tires that are on the back of the Bahanka. Roman made a miscalculation and had those tires put at the very back of the vehicle. Notice how I said Roman and not Andre.
Roman!
Yes.
Back in the road, dude, it's a lot happier.
Yeah, that made a huge difference. What was happening is, even at 65, if anybody went by, as we mentioned, even some air flowing by it would upset it and it would start to sway. And there's only so much that you can really rely on. And
really, it's kind of my fault. You mentioned Roman, but really, I was loading the trailer this morning. And of course, this is the first time we're using this trailer because previous part of this video, we got a trailer that was too short.
That's right. So we replaced that with this one.
Yeah.
Which
is
just
long enough.
Yeah, just right.
But shifting weight forward really adds a little bit more weight to the front of the trailer, pushes down on the truck a little bit more. We're still level.
Yep.
And resolves our sway problem.
Yeah, it's rock solid now.
So I gotta say, so initially it started with a little bit of trailer sway, and you may have been thinking, oh, Ranger's a bad towing truck. That's not the case. I think you might agree with me. The Ranger in the mid-size class, even the current Ranger, is one of the best because it has 7,500 pounds of towing.
It really has 75 pounds. Yeah, it's
truly, like we're doing right now.
Right. I will say this, we've seen the maximum that this thing can do, and if you're going to get to this point and you do it often, probably a full-size truck would be a better choice.
Right, which we'll find out in this video as well.
Yes, we will.
All right, well, let's get to the pump and let's verify our efficiency and jump in the Raptor. How about that?
Sounds good.
So the truck is saying 9.7, Nathan.
Okay, now the question is, will the pump agree?
Oh, yeah, let's find out. All right, we gotta do the same procedure because we're trying to figure out exact fuel efficiency.
Okay, should be interesting. Okay, here we go.
So I have a GPS verified 56.9 miles. Where's our exact loop today? 56.9. So let's calculate. 56.9 divided by 6.293. 9, basically 9.0.
What did it say inside?
9.7.
9.7 inside. We know
close-ish.
Close-ish. Yeah. Okay.
The Ranger tends to be optimistic on its trip meter, really.
It is a little optimistic. So, but look, we can say 9 easily, okay? Which isn't bad. The question is, will the Raptor be able to beat this? Now, the Raptor's regular MPG is around 11. So I don't know.
Yeah. But hey, dude, 9 is like less than half of its unladen efficiency. It dropped quite a lot.
It's not like you haven't heard about the Raptor R before, but for the sake of fun, what are we looking at?
It's a monster of an engine, nicknamed Predator. 5.2 liters of displacement, so almost twice the displacement here.
Yeah.
700 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque, but both of these trucks actually have a 10-speed automatic transmission, which is a little bit different, but still 10 speeds.
That is true. So what's the combined MPG on this?
Oh, like half of that truck, like 11.
11? Okay,
Yeah.
All right. And how much does this truck weigh?
6,000 pounds.
6,000 pounds.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, Nathan, why is there green fluid and yellow fluid?
I think we need to ask Ford about that, and I think I know who to call.
So this engine, the V8, requires premium fuel. It even says it right here, 91 plus. And it's because it's a high performance machine.
You are looking at the natural habitat of the Ford Raptor R. She is thirsty, she must drink often.
But this puppy has a giant fuel tank, 36 gallons, dude. 30 seconds, you got your chronograph?
Yep. Okay.
Wow, that's a big top off.
That was a big top off. Okay. So we pulled out of the gas station and we're gonna go,
What, 1 block?
well, a block and a half
block and
by
a
the
half?
time you're actually out. Yeah.
It's telling me that we're towing. And my blind detection system has been updated.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go into tow haul mode. And here's the thing about Raptor R that a lot of people don't realize. When you first power it up, it's always in 4 auto.
Okay.
Because it kind of defaults to 4 auto. Because to use all this power, 700 horsepower, you have to, put the power down.
Right.
But I just selected 2-wheel drive to make it fair.
Okay.
I set my trip, my cruise control. The trip has been reset.
Easy enough.
This is already a different feeling.
Well, it doesn't seem to care, for one thing. And we're just lopping along. What's our RPM right now?
2,600. So
A lot different than the...
we're at about 3,000, maybe 4,000 climbing this hill in the Ranger.
Well, I bet you it's going to at least drop down 1 gear.
It might.
We'll do it automatically.
So yeah. So every mode is set. So we'll check in once we put a few more miles behind us.
Sounds good. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a foregone conclusion that one truck might be more efficient than the other, and thus one will win. That simple. But it's not that simple. Even though the Raptor has the horsepower and torque advantage big time, and it weighs about 2,000 pounds more, but you also have to keep in mind the tires. Look how big these are. They're 37s. A lot more rolling mass and also a lot more resistance given its width and the type of tread that's there, as opposed to these, which do provide less rolling resistance and should be more efficient. Also, much taller, much wider truck, so you have an additional air hitting it, as opposed to the Ranger, which is a little bit more aerodynamic in where it sits. So there are a lot of other considerations to think about.
I have a lot of configurability. One of the things I can do is I can quiet down the exhaust system and I am in quiet mode. It sounds really hushed.
It is really hushed in here, and I'm disappointed.
Well, did you want Baja mode?
Of course I do.
You want it just roar
all the time, but we also have to talk on camera, so I get it.
But look, 1800 RPM right now.
1800, and we're going, what, 65?
Yeah, and that's what we were doing in the Ranger, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're maintaining, the same thing here.
And we're staying in the, of course, the slow lane. We know you guys get angry if we went into the passing lane going this slow.
Yeah, we almost had road rage already this morning.
Yeah, we have become close to it.
Currently it says 7.3 mpg, but I wouldn't put too much stock in this right now. We need to get some more miles, under the belt. But if it's between 7 and 8, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Now it's climbing.
Yeah, finally a little bit more RPM. Ah, look. See what happens when you speed, folks? That's
yes.
Bad. Speedy.
That's why TFL truck never speeds.
Ever.
Here's the place where we pulled off to reposition the Buchanka.
Okay, so it only makes sense that we actually stop here. And that way we're repeating everything that we did on the last run to make sure that both vehicles are absolutely even.
And also, it's a good time to check the tie downs, right?
Yeah, why not? Go out, hang out.
Be safe.
Plane traffic, it'll be great.
Yeah. Oh, this is a little bit loose, dude. Good thing we pulled off.
Yeah, safety first. So a couple more minutes hanging here and then we'll take off on the road again.
Cool, dude, it's 28 miles. That means we're turning around.
Yeah, we made it to the halfway point and we're running at what, 7.3 miles per gallon or
7.4 now.
7.4 now. Whoa.
So it's kind of maintaining that mid-7 range. All right, dude. So we're back in Boulder.
The ride was no problem.
Yeah, really easy. And I think it is thanks to the kind of a wider, heavier, more stable chassis. Just really easy going. And a great towing vehicle, I would say, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this truck is focused on off-roading, really, but it's also a good towing truck.
Right. And of course, there's all this mentality of, how much do you lose because of your suspension in terms of payload and towing? And you do lose a lot,
You do.
honestly.
I mean, this truck's capability is 8,700 pounds, which compared to a regular F-150, it's down quite a bit. I mean, for example, like my F-150 hybrid that I used to have had between 11 and 12,000 pounds of towing.
Right.
Some other F-150s have even more than that.
So, one of the things that kind of blows my mind is that the Ford Ranger we did this on only tows about 1,000 pounds less. Something to be said about that.
So yeah, even though 1,400 to 1,500 pounds is a decent amount of payload in the four-wheel drive truck, of course, the more the better.
Yeah.
So you can add accessories, tents, anything like that.
Yeah, a couple goodies here and there.
Check it out, 7.5. That's what it still says.
Here we go. 91.
So really, we're looking for like 6.2 gallons, right? If it's less, this is better. If it's more, it's worse.
Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Here we go.
I'm betting. What are you betting? I'm betting it's going to be very close to the same.
I think this will be slightly under.
To what the Ranger is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll be 1 mile per gallon under.
So 8.
I think it's gonna be 8.
Okay. I'm going to say 8.5. Maybe I'm too optimistic. I'm not sure.
You're too optimistic.
Yeah. Still going. Oh!
Okay. All right, Andre.
56.9 miles. Divide by 7.31. Wow. Wow. 7.8.
7.8
So
mpg.
it's at 7.5. So actually the truck was pretty much on the money.
Right, really close to my prediction of 8 miles per gallon, by the way, should I say?
Oh yeah, you nailed this one, dude.
I didn't nail it, I came close.
Okay.
Yeah, as I'm sure our viewers are going to say.
Okay. Well, there you have it. If you want to have a big full-size V8 power truck, maybe don't choose the Raptor R. Is that for towing?
I mean, come on, yeah, of course. So the Raptor R is not really what you would choose. That's not your first choice, but we did show that it's about a 1 mpg difference, give or take, between the two of them, which is pretty interesting considering the size difference altogether.
Yeah, and then considering that the midsize truck, like we said, it has an efficiency of over 20 mpg on unladen, and this has 11. So
yeah,
let us know what you think in the comments below, and oldtfl.com is where you'll find everything automotive. And where can they buy or sell their vehicles?
oh, that's at tflbids.com.